हसदी आ वो लगदी पंजाब दी आ जिस हिसाब ना तकदी आ वो लगदी लाहौर दी आ जिस हिसाब ना हसदी आ कुड़ी दा पता करो किहड़े पिंड दी आ किहड़े शहर दी आ लगदी लाहौर दी आ जिस हिसाब।
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and I hope you're all doing really well this week. So today I'm going to go through this rose gold inspired glam look, and yes, I have taken it back to my roots a little. I was desi inspired, but this look doesn't just work with Asian clothes, it can suit any kind of special occasion. So let's get started. Okay guys, so the products I've used on my skin are below. I have popped concealer and primed my eyelids using my trusty Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, so we're going to go straight in with the crease colour. So I usually pop all my single eyeshadows into a bit of a palette like this, but what I've done, just to make it easier so you guys can see, I've taken out the main eyeshadows that we're going to be using today. They are all MAC eyeshadows, but I will be running through each shade that we're using. So for our crease colour, we're going to be using this little guy here. This is soft brown. I'm going to be using my big fluffy blending brush, and I'm just going to pop that shade into the crease. This soft brown shade is really nice as a kind of crease slash transition colour. So some people call it the crease, some people say transition. So remember my windscreen wiping action, guys. Back and forth into the crease. And the big fluffy blending brush will just do all the work for you. This is the MAC 217 blending brush that I'm using. It is by far my favourite blending brush, especially for eyeshadow. And I'm going to pop the same colour just underneath as well, just to give it a bit of balance. So this is quite a glam eyeshadow look that I'm going for today, so there's a couple of steps, but I promise I'm going to, as always, break it down to make it as easy as possible for you guys. So next up, we're going to go with our second crease colour, and I'm going to make this a little bit darker, and this one's called Swiss Chocolate, so I'm going to go one shade up. I am using my skinnier fluffy brush this time to blend that in. And with this second crease colour, guys, you want to go right inside the crease, so you don't want to go as kind of spread out as the first crease colour. This is just going to build that kind of depth into the eyeshadow, so you want to go right inside the crease, which is why I'm using a skinnier blending brush to do this. It is the same motion, so it's still that kind of back and forth, but this time you want to focus right inside and keep blending that in. This just starts to create a nice kind of gradient of colour rather than just one crease colour. So I've just blended that same colour out underneath as well, and as you can see, it just gives the crease a little bit more depth, which always looks really nice on like a glam eye. So next up, we've got our eyelid colour, and I'm using this gorgeous kind of rose gold colour from MAC as well. Now these are one of their like kind of special eyeshadow collections. So this one's the Extra Dimension eyeshadow collection, and it's called Sweet Heat. And it just has the most beautiful kind of glistening rose gold finish to it, which I really love. I'm just going in with my flat eyeshadow brush to apply this. Remember guys, anything fluffy will blend and anything flat will apply the colour. And I do usually leave like my inner corner and the outer corner a little bit blank, just to give it that space for when I add in the other colours that I'm going to be using. So next up, we're really going to smoke this out, and I'm going to go one shade darker, and this shade is called Embark, and I'm going to pop this onto the outer corners of the eyes. I'm going to go in with the same skinny blending brush, and I'm just going to use that to apply the dark brown just in the outer corners. Now if you guys have watched my other videos before when I teach kind of like my basic smoky eye, you just kind of want to go round in that C shape just here, just in this outer corner. So this movement is not the same as the crease colour, it's like a little bit smaller, and also you might have noticed I'm not going like all the way back and forth like I did with my crease colour. So this one's just going to stay here. And you really want to build this colour, so just keep applying it a little by little, building the eyeshadow up in layers, and that's what's important. Don't just try and take a whole load of eyeshadow in one go, because it will just cause like major fallout onto like the rest of your face. So what you want to be doing is just building it up in layers, and that way you get a much better depth to the eyeshadow. So once you've blended that, you can kind of just flick this out just a little bit to extend it. So kind of just whatever's left on your brush, you're just using the excess just to kind of give it that lift and just extend the eyeshadow out a little bit more. Now of course guys, if you make a mistake with that part, do not worry, I'm always here to give you guys little tips and tricks that you can use to kind of help fix it. So if you feel like that darker corner colour's gone everywhere, or it's just too harsh, it's created a bit of a line, get your big fluffy blending brush, and you can use this as a bit like your eraser, but you can kind of just go over any of those sort of like, you know, harsh lines, just to kind of soften it out. Or if you feel like you've gone too high with it and you want to just kind of smooth it over, you can use this brush to do that. Okay, so once I'm happy with that, I'm going to darken up the corners just a little bit and make this even more glam by adding in a little bit of black. Now as you can see, my black eyeshadow is pretty much ruined, but there's still use in there, so I'm still going to use it. I'm using a little pencil brush to apply this first because I don't want to make the black too big or just spread out too far. And a lot of the time when people say to me, like, I try to just make your eye, but I look like I punch myself in the face. Yeah, I hear that a lot. So, you know, just want to keep the colour quite small. So I'm going to use my pencil brush first to apply that, and then I'm going to use my skinny fluffy brush again just to blend it out. So we're just going to apply the black in this little tiny corner here. So make it even smaller than when you did that little C shape. So this now becomes like a tiny weeny little V, like so. And you want to get your skinny blending brush and you can just go over it just to gently blend that in. A lot of people tend to go straight in with black in the corners because they look at like a finished eyeshadow look and they think, oh, you know, like I'm just going to go straight in to make that darker. But actually black needs to be built, like there needs to be like a depth of colour, which is why, you know, when you add like a darker brown first and you build up the layer of the eyeshadows, the black looks so much better and blends in way better as well. So my favourite thing to do, and I guess my favourite kind of trick that I use to give me a bit of a guideline as to where I'm going to put my winged eyeliner, is I get a dry cotton bud. And this works for anyone who maybe wants to like shape up what they've done, wing out their eyeshadow a little bit, or, you know, if you've just been a little bit messy with it and you want to clean it up. So what I like to do is get a dry cotton bud, and that angle that you can see just from the corner of the eyes, the end of the brow, I like to pull that, get my dry cotton bud and just swipe it going all the way up. So as you guys can see, that just makes the eyeshadow like a little bit more cleaner, gives it kind of like that lift, and actually also gives you that guideline as to where you're going to draw your wings. So it makes your life a little bit easier to do winged eyeliner. So to do my winged eyeliner, I like to use my two favourite products. Firstly, the Inglot black gel liner. If you guys haven't tried this, it's just so intense and black and it actually doesn't budge. It's the number 77 eyeliner gel. And then my angle brush from MAC as well. It's got a cute little kind of angle tip to it, so it gives you a really nice thin sort of straight line, and I prefer to use this to my winged eyeliner always. So I like to do my winged eyeliner in 3 easy steps. And firstly, I just want to draw like a guideline to my wing. And that basically means I'm just going to follow the angle that the eyeshadow has created for you and just give it a bit of a stamp. Just like that. And that's all you have to worry about for now. It's just that little, and you can maybe barely see it on the camera, but just that little kind of line, just to kind of indicate that I'm following the right angle. And this is a lot easier because your eyeshadow's kind of already given you that guideline. And then next up, I'm going to draw my base line. And that's just a line that's going to run along your lash line. And don't worry at the moment about like kind of making it thicker. Just kind of get that shape in place. That's what's important. Stay as close to your eyelashes as possible. And right now I'm doing this by looking down into a mirror because you can actually see what you're doing. You don't have to squint your eyes or, you know, kind of do this and try and like stretch with one hand. So just look down into a mirror. You can keep your eyes open and you can really get close to those eyelashes. And you might have noticed I do my line in kind of little strokes, and that's absolutely fine. Like, you don't have to do kind of one big straight line straight away, so just do it in little strokes. And then it's time for the wings. So do you remember that kind of stamp that you did just there, which was that kind of nice little line? You're going to basically go from that line and back onto your baseline. So you're going to take it from here and just draw back onto your baseline. Like so. And that creates like a tiniest little sort of triangle just there, which is going to remain a little bit empty. And then all you've got left to do is just fill in that triangle. And then once you've filled in that triangle, you can basically see that like my general shape of my eyeliner is already there. So that general shape of the wing. The wing's going in the right direction because you kind of followed that angle. And now all that's left to do is you can perfect it. You can make it longer, you can make it thicker. But the main thing is once you've got the shape in place, that all the other stuff kind of becomes way easier. So I've just made my eyeliner a little bit longer and a little bit thicker on the wing. I'm just going to add in now my final touches before I perfect everything. So firstly, I'm going to really build up that rose gold sort of shimmer, and I'm going to use one of these eyeshadows. Now these are the Dazzleshadows from MAC, and this one's called Slow, Fast, Slow. Don't ask me why do all makeup brands have weird names for their products. Who knows, hey? But yeah, this one's got like a really nice kind of, it's almost like a pressed glitter. And I'm just going to pop this on into the center of my eyelid. And this is going to really give it that kind of sparkly rose gold glam. So I've just popped on my Samantha lashes from Huda Beauty. So next up I'm going to add on my brow bone and inner corner highlight, and I really want this to pop today because like I said, we're going for full glam rose gold smoky eye. So I'm going to do this in 2 stages. Firstly I'm going to use an eyeshadow, and I'm going to use this one right here, which is kind of like a champagne-y bright tone. This eyeshadow is called Naked Lunch, and I'm just using a small kind of fluffy pointy brush. So anything small that's going to fit into those little areas is good. Like I said, I really want to make this pop, so I'm going to use the same highlighter that I used on my cheeks, which is the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop. Just pop that onto my cheeks. I'm going to use the same one to now layer that up and really make that glow. And if you're like me, who really likes kind of a bright inner corner and brow bone highlight, then this technique really works because you're kind of like layering the shades rather than just going in with one colour, and that's what makes it really pop. And of course, to make this really smoky, we need to balance out the bottom. So I'm going to pop in some black pencil just into my waterline and make this super like dark and intense because it works really well with this look. And then I'm just going to smoke out the bottom using that dark brown eyeshadow that I used on my first kind of corner colour. And I'm just going to use my little shader brush just to smudge that out. So we're all done with the eyes, and I'm just going to finish off with a nice pinky nude lip. I'm going to go in with Soar lip pencil. And this lip pencil from MAC has got the perfect kind of pinky tone. I'm going to top that up with my lipstick from Tom Ford called Nude Vanille. And then finish off with this beautiful gloss, also from Tom Ford, called Rose Crush. So guys, I've just finished off with my accessories, and I really hope you guys enjoyed today's look. Don't forget to stick around for the bloopers, and before you leave, I've actually got something that might help those of you who want to know how to create your very own perfect makeup bag. So head on down to the link below where it's absolutely free to download, and it's a little checklist that's going to help guide you. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and as always, stay beautiful, stay you. So I usually... we're going to be using. They are all eyeshadow. Get your big fluffy blending brush. Blah, blah. Get your big fluffy branding. Kind of like bright kind of champagne tone. Okay. Gold glam look.